justice to this 18th conference of CIT.
WFQ General Secretary,
Our
Comrade Hon'ble
leaders of the Joint Trade Union platform, the Central Trade Union leaders are here. I welcome from INTUC, Mantri Rajasekhar, National Senior Secretary of INTUC. Comrade Amarjit Kaur, General Secretary of INTUC.
Mantri Rajasekhar, National
Comrade
Senior
Sudarshan
Secretary
Rao,
of
Office
INTUC.
Bearer of HMS.
Comrade Amarjit Kaur, General
He will
Secretary
be
of INTUC.
joining shortly.
Comrade Sudarshan
Jaisan
Rao,
Meher,
Office Bearer
All
of
India
HMS.
Secretariat member of AIUTUC.
Joining shortly.
G. Madhusudan,
Jaisan
Office
Meher,
Bearer of TUCC.
All India Secretariat member of AIUTUC.
Comrade Sonia George, Vice President of SEWA.
G. Madhusudan, Office Bearer of TUCC.
And Clifton D. Rosario, Vice
Sonia
President of
George, Vice President of
AICCTU.
SEWA. And Clifton D. Rosario,
Now,
Vice President of
the welcome address
AICCTU.
will be delivered by the chairman of the reception committee, Comrade C.H. Nursing
The
Rao.
welcome address will be delivered by the chairman of the reception committee, Comrade C.H. Nursing Rao.
President and dignitaries on the dais, my dear comrades, President has come all over the country and dignitaries to Kanyakumari. I
My dear
heartfully
comrades,
invite you all
over the country,
on behalf of the
Kashmir to Kanyakumari,
18th All India CITU
thoughtfully
Conference Reception
on
Committee
behalf of the
with great
18th All India
honor
CITU
and respect to all of you.
Conference Reception Committee.
Visakhapatnam, you are all aware, is a beautiful city in the Bay of Bengal.
To all of you.
Is situated with a
Visakhapatnam,
good temperature and good
is a
climate
beautiful city
this season,
Bengal
especially.
is situated
And Visakhapatnam is famous for working class center of the Andhra Pradesh. It is the biggest industrial center, especially to the central public sector, born with the port city earlier. At present, it is a steel city. It is the biggest steel plant, Vizag steel plant. 32 people has laid down their life, and the steel plant has people fought and got it. It is not as other industries. So the other industries like Hindustan Shipyard, Bharat Heavy Plates, Hindustan Petroleum, NTPC, BHEL, all the public sector, most of the major public sector has situated in Visakhapatnam except the ONGC, which was situated in Rajahmundry nearby 200 kilometers. This city was, during the British days, there is only one big industry, that is jute industry. In Chittivalsa jute mill in 1930, the workers who has working for 15 to 16 hours during the day has made a rebellion, and the British people police has fired 3 workers during that struggle. The Visakhapatnam tribal area was led by the heroic leader Alluri Sitaramraju, the martyrs. Jyoti has been brought from there. Krishnadevi Patnam, he was killed at the age of 27 years by the Britishers. But he led the people, especially the downtrodden tribal people of this Visakhapatnam district in 1920s. So this is a historical place, and it is a famous poets like Sri Sri and Gurazad Apparao, writer, all this and very renowned people belongs to this district earlier, and now that was divided into Vijayanagaram, Srikakulam, other districts, neighboring districts nearby. In 2025, 2 summits has taken. One summit by the partner, in the name of partner summit, the corporates has been gathered here, and the Andhra Pradesh government has made big promises that 16 lakh crores are coming, and the development will take place. But all the lies and false promises has been made from that summit. Our conference, the trade union conference, including all trade union, national trade union leaders are sitting. This conference is going to make a call, and the struggle for the future working class, the call will be given from here to fight against their false promises. And we are going to give a clear clarion call for the working class for their future. So these two summits in the same month, it was held in Visakhapatnam. And recently, one M. Appalraju, a Kisan leader, was being arrested this week by the Andhra Pradesh police, Andhra Pradesh government, under PD Act, Prevention Detention Act. How many months it will take to get his bail, we don't know. The government want to suppress the agriculture movement taking place at Nakapalli against the pharma hub that the government want to establish here. So this district is, in this district, common district earlier, the comrades who are fighting so many battles has taken place in various industries, and we got the people support, the mass support, the Kisan movement, both together, working class and Kisan together are fighting for many years. Our struggle will take place in future also. And in this regard, recently the Visakhapatnam steel plant, you are aware, from last 5 years, 2021 January 27, means almost just 1 month less than 5 years. The working class of Visakhapatnam is fighting against the strategic sale, means 100% sale of Visakhapatnam. The people, and so far even 1% has not been disinvested, only because of the fight that is continuing from last 5 years. We are going to fight, continue our fight in future also. The Kisan movement has the leaders, Kisan Samyukta Morcha leaders, most of the leaders are here. They came in 2021 itself and supported our movement against this privatization. And in Visakhapatnam, Dredging Corporation is the corporate headquarters in Visakhapatnam. This Dredging Corporation, the government want to privatize in 2018, but only 1,200 people. But the support of the mass, 1 lakh people has participated in the ballot against the privatization of Dredging Corporation of India. Then the Minister Gadkari came to Visakhapatnam and he has to announce that Dredging Corporation of India could not be privatized. We are not going to privatize like that. The Dredging Corporation of India privatization has been, as we have, it is continuing in public sector because of the struggle that has been taken place by the working class of this state. Throughout the state, we made a continuous rigorous agitations during that period. That's why the agitations so far. So many other industries, Hindustan Shipyard, the government tried to, but the parliamentary committee has taken a decision to merge this Hindustan Shipyard to the defense. Now it became a defense unit. In Bharat Heavy Plates and Vessels Limited, BHPV earlier, it was merged into BHEL only because of all this struggle. L&T people has tried their best to take over the BHPV. But because of all the workers came together and sat before the plant, not allowed the L&T people. L&T people left from Visakhapatnam and again they could not come. That BHP was merged to BHEL now. So the struggles, due to the struggles, the Visakhapatnam working class has made many vigorous struggles and fought against the government and their policies and saved the public sector so far in many angles. And the agriculture movement is also both together fighting, especially in Nakapalli. Vizag steel plant, only problem is captive mines. All other public sector are having mines. Only Vizag steel plant is not having mines, but the government want to start on metal steel plant in Nakapalli, and the government is trying to its best to allot captive mines to the metals company. So the government want to kill the public sector, especially they are trying their last 5 years, want to destroy Vizag Steel Factory. It is not simple privatization. Of course, another resolution is there. In the inaugural session, I don't want to explain more. So the people and the working class together are fighting and save the working public sector. So far, we appreciate the struggles that are being laid by the working class of Visakhapatnam and the working class of Andhra Pradesh. The reception committee has made all possible efforts to ensure that stay in comfortable and pleasant, respectably, and we request your kind cooperation in overlooking any minor inconvenience would arise. May the spirit of Visakhapatnam, symbolizing industrial resilience and collective strength, serve as a source of inspiration for our deliberations. Let us deliberate and proceed with a shared sense of purpose. Once again, we extend a warm and cordial welcome to all the delegates and wish the conference resounding success, including our fraternal leaders and various leaders came from the other fraternal trade unions. I once again welcoming you all. I conclude this welcoming speech on behalf of the reception committee, thanking you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Narsingh Rao. Now I request Comrade Tappan Sen, our General Secretary, to make some introductory remarks.
Comrade, welcome to you all. On behalf of you all, on this occasion of 18th conference of CI2, on behalf of all you together, we warmly welcome the General Secretary of World Federation of Trade Union, Comrade Plumbis, who will be addressing you very soon. It is a very important guest of ours, because we believe the working class struggle. Working class is basically an international class, and working class struggle in our country is integrally linked with the working class movement all over the world. WFTU symbolizes that linkage, that integration. We again warmly welcome and we eagerly waiting to hear him. At the same time, we also warmly welcome, on behalf of all of you, our colleagues and comrades of the Central Trade Union leadership, whom we are working together, running together, fighting together during last more than decades against the most heinous regime the country is confronting with. And we are in the midst of struggle. From this conference we will go for further struggle, and it will continue, because the attack is mounting in a very atrocious and heinous and fascistic way. That's the challenge before us. And I believe this conference of this month, they will deal on the various issues and challenges facing them, and also the measures to be taken, special measures to be taken to carry the struggle to a combative height. It's no use of making them convinced that their policies are not good for the country. The only way before the working class movement is to compel them, to force them to retreat, and thereby that struggle not only for the rights of the workers, but for the people, but for this nation, for its self-reliance and sovereign growth. In fact, the working class, they are playing a role of a great patriotic struggle to save the nation, to save the people, along with saving their right. We don't believe that all these are separate issues. They are integrally linked with each other. And on that premise, CI2 conference will be dealing on the issue. Comrades from all over the country who have come, leading different sectors, will be dealing on the issues. And at the initially, definitely by the presentation made by our WF2 General Secretary and also our colleagues and comrades of the Central Trade Unions, their presentation will definitely enthuse us, generate us more confidence. And at the same time, I also welcome our fraternal mass organizations, particularly the Workers' Kisan Sabha, Agricultural Workers Union, All India Democratic Women Association, and other mass organizations who are also present in this conference to greet us and to exchange their ideas. We are in a particular turning point, and I think it is one of the biggest achievements of the working class movement. While fighting against neoliberalism since last more than 3 decades, that in this process of struggle, a new combination has emerged through this process of struggle. The workers, peasants and agricultural workers are coming together. The producing classes are coming together to combat the destructive, conspiratorial exercise by the government. Rather, it will be wrong to say only by the government, it will be by the capitalist class, by the corporate class, who are operating through their agents in governance. That is how we look into the thing. Our fight against this exploitative system itself. And I believe the new combination, the unity of the producing class that is emerging, it is not merely our own. The entire joint front of Kisan organizations and joint front of trade union organizations are coming together. Last 9 July strike symbolizes that much more visibly, and I think that is the future instrumentation of our struggle to combat and to defeat the enemies of the people and enemies of the nation. With these few words, I believe this 4 days exercise will be a very important exercise, very crucial exercise for us, for all of us, for the entire working class movement and for the entire people's movement in the country. With these few introductory remarks, this inaugural session will be eagerly waiting to hear our leaders, our fraternal leaders, our WF2 General Secretary and our Central Trade Union comrades. With these introductory remarks from the conference, we will be interacting in the process of coming 4 days. With these few introductory remarks, at the end, I again express our warm appreciation and gratitude to the Andhra Pradesh State Committee of CI2 and Visakhapatnam working class movement in particular to host this conference quite effectively in a very beautiful manner. Thank you all, comrades. With these I conclude.
Comrade Tappan has talked about the World Federation of Trade Unions, its importance. As all of you know, the World Federation of Trade Unions is a class-oriented trade union, global trade union, which has been fighting against imperialism and also for the defense of the workers' rights all over the world. We are very happy to have Comrade Pambis Christis, the General Secretary of WFTU here. Despite his very busy schedule, he has made the effort to come here and managed to come here. I welcome him again and request him to greet the conference.
Thank you very much. President Himalada, General Secretary Taban Sen, comrades representing the other affiliate members of WFTU in India, dear guests, comrades, delegates in this 18th National Congress of CITU, brothers and sisters, first of all, I would like to thank the leadership of CITU and personally comrades Taban Sen and President Himalada for the invitation to have this possibility to attend your 18th National Congress. On behalf of more than 105 million members of the World Federation of Trade Unions from 134 countries from all corners of the earth, I convey to you and through you to the working class of India militant class greetings. CITU is a valuable member for the WFTU, not only because of the huge number of members it represents, but mainly because of its rich and militant history and its stable anti-imperialist and anti-capitalist class orientation. Ridley has a position in the Secretariat of our Federation, and Comrade Devroy is one of the Deputy General Secretaries of the World Federation of Trade Unions. Your Congress is taking place at a time that global geopolitical and economic rivalries continue to directly threaten world peace and security. And Comrade, even with the risk of nuclear destruction of the Deputy General Secretary, imperialist wars, interventions, sanctions and blockades, your Congress continue and taking place at a time that workers around the world and economic are facing the generalization and deepening of the capitalist crisis and accompanied by new attacks on their rights and achievements, the dramatic widening of social inequalities, further environmental degradation, and reckless overexploitation of our planet's natural resources. The genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza and the unbelievable brutality it has shown and continues to show before the eyes of all humanity by the Israeli state has once again revealed in all its grandeur the hypocrisy, cynicism, and inhuman nature of imperialism. Because the whole world knows that this behavior wouldn't be possible without the support and the courage by the United States, the European Union, and their other NATO allies. The WFTU, as always, stands by the Palestinian people. We know very well from the international experience that the ceasefires and agreements imposed by imperialist power under their control and supervision cannot ensure just or lasting peace. Our solidarity actions will continue and intensify until the establishment of the independent Palestinian state in the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. In the same anti-imperialistic spirit, we stand in solidarity with the working class and the people of Venezuela, Cuba, and the Latin America in general, who are facing intensified threats, military provocations, economic warfare, and attempts at foreign interference by United States imperialism. The deepening of the capitalist crisis makes the attacks against labor and social achievements and democratic and trade union freedoms becoming even harsher and intense. Temporary, precarious, and unsecured employment is expanding and have significantly undermined labor with rights regulated by collective agreements. At the altar of profit, human sacrifices continue as safety and health at work are seen by employers as undesirable costs that reduce their profits. The shift towards a war economy is clearly a priority for the ruling circles of capitalism today. New massive increases in military spending, apart from being a threat to global peace and security, also mean even harsher austerity policies and widening social inequality. It is obvious that in our era, the prerequisites for truly dignified working and social living conditions for all workers exist in abundance. The rapid development of science and technology has led to a leap in the productive capabilities of human labor. What we are fighting for, these capabilities not to be utilized to increase the profits of capitalists and create unimaginable wealth for few, but to ensure dignified living and working conditions for those who, through their labor and toil, are the true creators of the produced wealth. The encouraging and hopeful element in the depressing picture of today's world is the fact that workers do not passively accept the neoliberal, anti-popular, and anti-labor offensive. Guided by class-oriented trade unions, with militant struggles and mobilizations in every corner of the globe, they are demanding work with rights that ensure the satisfaction of their modern needs. As the resistance of workers strengthens and the struggles become more massive and militant, so do the phenomena of authoritarianism and repression. The police persecution of trade unions leaders and the attack on trade unions' freedoms, particularly the right to strike, intensify. United workers' struggles often face not only employers and the states, but also unions aligned with class collaboration and system integration. Employers and governments to manipulate labor struggles, betting on the role of yellow unions and the surrendered trade union leaders. India is an integral part of this global development. Neoliberal policies, labor law changes, and aggressive privatization have had serious consequences for workers and pensioners. We watch and salute the united struggles from and the joint platform of central trade unions and sectoral federations' resistance against the anti-worker labor codes, which constitute a sweeping attack on job security, social protection, trade union rights, and democratic freedoms. These massive mobilizations of Indian workers, like national-wide actions of 26 November, clearly demonstrate the strength of working class unity and class consciousness in defense of rights. Dear comrades, brothers and sisters, as you know, in 3rd of last October in Paris, with the presence of more than 350 international delegates, including CITU representatives, we had the great pleasure to honor the 80 years, the long, rich, and glorious historical path of the World Federation of Trade Union. A path full of action and struggles, always with solidarity and internationalism. The next World Federation Trade Union Presidential Council, which will be held in Bahrain at the end of March 2026, is going to officially announce the 19th World Trade Union Congress, which is expected to be hosted in Colombo, Sri Lanka, from May 13 to 15, 2027. The 13th World Trade Union Congress was convened in New Delhi in 2000 under very critical circumstances for the international class-oriented trade union movement. In 2027, after 25 years, the 19th Congress returns to Asia, to a country that recent years has been characterized by tough and victorious class struggles, which overthrew the authoritarian and reactionary government and brought progressive popular forces to the forefront. I have no doubt that CITU, along with the other WFTU members organizations in India and the region, will contribute significantly to the success of this Congress, which will be held in your neighborhood. It is our humble ambition that our 19th Congress will be another shining milestone in the historic course of our movement, continuing its 80-year path with the same vision that inspired its founding, for a world without wars and imperialist interventions, without exploitation and discrimination, where work will be permanent, stable, regulated, and safe. Dear comrades, once again, I wish you every success in your Congress and, of course, in your future struggles for the rights of the Indian workers. I am aware that you are currently preparing for a nationwide strike on February 12, 2026, in which the United Peasants Forum has also declared its participation. It will obviously be a historic, huge, nationwide, all-India popular mobilization expressing the will of the Indian people to resist militantly and decisively the anti-labor and anti-popular policies of the current government that attacks the achievements, rights, and freedoms of workers and the Indian people in general. Be assured that you will never be alone in these struggles. As in the past, you can count and rely on the solidarity and support of the international class-oriented trade union movement, of the WTU affiliates and friends all over the world, which shall solidly stand in solidarity with your strike action. Long live the unity and struggles of the working class. Long live SITU, long live WFTU.
WFTU Zindabad! इंकलाब जिंदाबाद! दुनिया का मजदूर! दुनिया का मेहनतकश एक हो! इंकलाब जिंदाबाद! जिंदाबाद जिंदाबाद! Up socialism! Down capitalism!
Before to let the floor, I would like to offer a small present to the leaders of SIDU to remember this very important moment, not only for the SIDU, but also for the international class-oriented trade union movement. My present is the symbol of WFTU, and I'm offering to the leadership of SITU.
साम्राज्यवाद हो बर्बाद, हो बर्बाद, हो बर्बाद। साम्राज्यवाद हो बर्बाद, हो बर्बाद, हो बर्बाद। up socialism, down down capitalism। up socialism, down down capitalism।
And last, if I know that in this huge country there are more than one calendars, but I would like to wish to all of you and to your families happy and militant New Year.
Thank you, Comrade Pambis, for your inspiring lecture. On behalf of the entire CITU and the conference, we again thank you.
Okay. These are small personal presents for you. And come with. And the comrade also.
Comrades, our conference is being held in the backdrop of the BJP government notifying the labor codes. So the central trade unions have decided to go on a strike, and in this conference we first have to take a resolution supporting the strike. So I'll be placing a resolution supporting the strike. The 18th Conference of Indian Trade Unions fully supports the decision of the Joint Platform of Trade Unions for a general strike demanding repeal of the 4 labor codes, and the strike is tentatively decided to be held on 12th February. It will be formally announced in a national convention which will be held in Delhi in Sujit Bhavan on 9th of this month, of January. So the call for the general strike is supported by the Sahitya Kisan Morcha. It resolves to mobilize all its energies and resources to ensure emphatic success of the general strike. This one-day strike is just a warning bell to the BJP government at the center. With the Modi-led government attempts to forcibly implement the labor codes, notifying the rules and other measures, workers will answer with multi-days general strike and higher forms of resistance in the coming days and continue their fight till the labor codes are scrapped. The conference notes the massive nationwide protests on 26 November 2025 across more than 500 districts in thousands of locations at workplaces, industrial areas, rural regions and blocks. Workers from organized and unorganized sectors, public sector employees, government employees, and scheme workers and others all expressed their resentment and anger against the labor codes through these protest demonstrations. They were joined by the agricultural workers, farmers, students, youth, and large numbers and also women. These reflect the growing unity of workers and farmers, the 2 productive forces of the country. The 4 labor codes constitute a comprehensive attack on labor rights won through more than a century of struggles. They are meant to weaken the trade unions by restricting the right to organize and strike. They extend working hours, facilitate hire and fire, expand contractualization, fixed-term employment and apprenticeship, without any safeguards, dilute occupational safety, dismantle inspections, weaken labor adjudication, and decriminalize employers' violations of labor statutes while intensifying repression of workers' struggles. The BJP-led government has totally disregarded tripartism and did not convene the Indian Labour Conference since the last 10 years, despite repeated demands by the trade unions. It has abruptly notified the labour courts despite the stiff opposition from almost all the working class except the BMS, and BMS also welcomed 2 labour courts and it had reservations against the other 2. It is spending hundreds of crores of rupees of public money in deceptive propaganda seeking to mislead the workers and the common people about the so-called benefits of the labour courts. The 18th Conference of CITU reiterates that the notification of labour courts is a desperate attempt by the ruling corporate communal nexus to address or resolve the systemic crisis of capitalism in favor of the capitalist class by attacking the basic and hard-won rights of the working class. It is a measure to gift their corporate bosses with union-free workplaces and enable them to extract super profits. The conference also asserts that the attacks on the constitutional and democratic rights of the people, the attacks on autonomous institutions, on federalism, the display of neo-fascist characters by the ruling dispensation, and the attempts to flame communal and divisive passions and disrupt unity of the working people. These are all part of these desperate attempts. They are not strength of the ruling classes or the strength of the BJP-led government, but they are desperate attempts of the ruling classes to address the present crisis of the capitalist system. The general strike represents a decisive assertion of the collective will of the working people to defend their rights, livelihoods, and democratic values in the process of further heightening and intensifying the united combat against the crimes being committed on the people's rights and livelihood and also on the national economy. Therefore, this 18th Conference of CITU fully supports the countrywide general strike called by the Joint Platform of Central Trade Unions and the All India Sectoral Federations and Associations. It demands immediate repeal of all the 4 labour codes. It calls for strengthening the unity of workers, farmers, youth, and other toiling sections against the pro-corporate, anti-people policies. The 18th Conference of CITU calls upon all its affiliated unions, state committees, and all India federations and coordination committees to start preparations for the success of the general strike immediately. It calls upon all the workers of the country, irrespective of their affiliations, to gird up their loins for the united fight to force the anti-worker government to scrap the labour codes. The conference reminds the working class the need of our class unity, that this is the fight it cannot afford to lose. So with these words, I am placing the resolution on behalf of the entire Presidium and for your acceptance. Those who accept, please raise your hands, and also let us accept this resolution with thundering applause. Thank you.
Comrades, our General Secretary, Comrade Hemlata, shall present a souvenir of our Congress to General Secretary, World Federation of Trade Union, Comrade Pembis. Comrade Hemlata.
Okay, thank you. Yes, okay. Fine.
11:45.
Comrades, now we'll break for tea and we'll again gather at 11:45.
नहीं नहीं ठीक किया ये हाँ कैसे कॉमेडी क्रीम है डेट नहीं तय होता था तो कितना प्रॉब्लम आता डेट तय नहीं होता तो कितना प्रॉब्लम आता आपका कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रहा है आप सिर्फ बोल रहे हैं फरवरी में करेंगे डेट बता दिखा रहे हैं आपका तो अच्छा होमवर्क हो गया ना तो इसीलिए आपका ईजी होगा
We here, TV.
कैसा है रेड्डी जी?
ఎందరు ఏమంటున్నా ఎవ్వరు అడ్డం పడినా అరే ఎందరు ఏమంటున్నా ఎవ్వరు అడ్డం పడినా కార్మిక అభ్యుదయానికి సమరమెంత ఎదురైనా అంటున్నది యుద్ధం చేస్తున్నది సిద్ధం అంటున్నది యుద్ధం చేస్తున్నది ఏళ్ళుగా తరాలుగా ఎర్ర అక్షరాలుగా ఎర్రని స్వరాలుగా నిక్క వీసి నిఘా పెట్టి ట్రిక్కరులా గర్జించే నిక్క వీసి నిఘా పెట్టి ట్రిక్కర్లా గర్జించే ఒకే ఒక్క యూనియన్ ఉచితంగా చదువు ఉచితంగా వైద్యం ఉచితంగా చదువు ఉచితంగా వైద్యం నిరుద్యోగులందరికీ ఉద్యోగాలుండాలని జెండాలను ఎత్తడమే సిఐటియు కార్మికుల కర్షకుల కరచాలనమే సిఐటియు రైల్వే కార్మిక పోరాటంలో రాటుదేలి రైల్వే కార్మిక పోరాటంలో రాటుదేలి అప్పుడున్న ఎమర్జెన్సీని ఎమర్జెన్సీగా ఎదురించి ఇప్పుడున్న అప్రకటిత మోదీ ఎమర్జెన్సీ పైన విగ్గదీసి నిఘా పెట్టి ట్రిగ్గర్లా గర్జించే ఒకే ఒక్క యూనియన్ కార్మిక పోరాటంలో రాటుదేలి అప్పుడున్న ఎమర్జెన్సీని ఎమర్జెన్సీగా ఎదురించి భూములు పరిశ్రమలు సముద్ర తీరాలుగను అర్పణంగా కార్పొరేట్ల కప్పగించే కుట్ర పేరే సరళీకరణంగా సాగే సరళీకరణం పైన సరళీకరణంగా సాగే సరళీకరణం పైన తీసి నిఘా పెట్టి ట్రిగ్గర్లా గర్జించే ఒకే ఒక్క యూనియన్ పరిశ్రమలు సముద్ర జీతాలు పెన్షన్లకు లక్షలు అందిస్తాడు పేదలను చెమటోడ్చే కార్మికులను అవుట్సోర్సింగ్ కాంట్రాక్టుల పేర ఇచ్చే వేతనాలు ద్రోహమని తీసి నిఖా పెట్టి ట్రిగ్గర్లా ఖర్చించే ఒకే ఒక్క యూనియన్ పెన్షన్లకు లక్షలు అందిస్తాడు కార్మికులను చికాగోను పని గంటలను తగ్గించిన జెండావళి 90 గంటల పనిపై తొగతరిచే సంఘమిది ప్రభుత్వ రంగాన్ని మోడి ప్రైవేట్ రంగానికిస్తే ప్రభుత్వ రంగాన్ని మోడి ప్రైవేట్ రంగానికిస్తే కదీసి నిఖా పెట్టి ట్రిగ్గర్లా ఖర్చించే ఒకే ఒక్క యూనియన్ ప్రభుత్వ రంగాన్ని మోడి ప్రైవేట్ రంగానికిస్తే ప్రభుత్వ రంగాన్ని మోడి ప్రైవేట్ రంగానికిస్తే గదీసి నిఖా పెట్టి ట్రిగ్గర్లా ఖర్చించే ఒకే ఒక్క యూనియన్ జిందాబాద్ సిఐటియు జిందాబాద్ సిఐటియు జిందాబాద్ సిఐటియు జిందాబాద్
నేను ఎక్కడి నుంచి మైక్ తీసుకో
చూసి అటు పెట్టుకున్నాం
హలో ఆవాజ్ తెలకపల్లి రవి గారు రచించినటువంటి గీతం హలో హలో आवाज दो हम एक है भारत का श्रम एक है आवाज दो हम एक है भारत का श्रम एक है आवाज दो हम एक है भारत का श्रम एक है आवाज दो हम आवाज दो हम एक है भारत का श्रम एक है आवाज दो हम एक है
ఆవాజ్
చీకటి బతుకుల్లో వెలుగైనట్టు తొలిపొద్దు ఈ జెండా ఇది కష్టజీవుల కార్మికుల ఎర్ర జెండా మనం ఇచ్చాను తెలియజేసేటువంటి పాట పెట్టండి. హలో చీకటి బతుకుల్లో వెలుగైనట్టి తొలిపొద్దు ఈ జెండా ఆ వెలిగిన వీరుల నెత్తుటిలో మన జెండా కష్టజీవుల జెండా ఇది కార్మికుల జెండా చీకటి బతుకుల్లో వెలుగైనట్టి తొలిపొద్దు ఈ జెండా ఆ వెలిగిన వీరుల నెత్తుటిలో మన జెండా చీకటి బతుకుల్లో వెలుగైనట్టి తొలిపొద్దు ఈ జెండా ఇది కష్టజీవుల కార్మికుల ఎర్ర జెండా కష్టాలు కసిగట్టి కాచేస్తూ ఉందా ఇప్పుడు వెంటనే కష్టజీవి కళ్ళలోన కూలి నాలి చిందులోన కార్మికులకు అండగా నిలిచినటువంటి జెండా సిఐటియు మౌలాలి రాసిన పాట
కష్టజీవి కళ్ళలోన కార్మికుల గుండెలో కార్మికులకు అండగాను నిలిచినట్టి ఈ సంఘమిది
కష్టజీవి కళ్ళలోన కూలి కార్మికులకు అండగా నిలిచినటువంటి జెండా సిఐటియు మౌలాలి రాసిన పాట
జిందాబాద్ జిందాబాద్ సిఐటియు జిందాబాద్ కష్టజీవి కళ్ళలో కార్మికుల సంగతి
భరతమాత కడుపు రగిలిపోతా ఉంది. కులం పేరుతో మతం పేరుతో ఉద్దేశాలు రెచ్చగొట్టబడతా ఉన్నాయి. అందరూ క్షమించాలి, తెలుగులోనే పాటలు పాడుతున్నారు.
అది కూడా తెలుగులోనే చెప్తున్నాను. భరతమాత కడుపు చిచ్చు రగులుతోంది, మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి విలపిస్తోంది. భరతమాత కడుపు చిచ్చు రగులుతోంది, మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి విలపిస్తోంది. భరతమాత కడుపు చిచ్చు రగులుతోంది, మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి విలపిస్తోంది. మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి విలపిస్తోంది. దేశభక్తులార కడుపు చిచ్చు రగులుతోంది, దేశభక్తులార మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి విలపిస్తోంది. దేశభక్తులార సమయమాసన్నమాయే, మాత బీజేపీ అంతు చూడలే. మాత కడుపు చిచ్చు రగులుతోంది, మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి విలపిస్తోంది. మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి విలపిస్తోంది. మనువాదుల చెరలు చిక్కి వినాలని చెప్పి ప్రజల హితములే అందరం చెప్పి ప్రజల హితములే అందరం మతాలన్నీ చెప్పింది ప్రజల హితములే, మతాలన్నీ చెప్పింది ప్రజల హితములే. మతసారం మరుగుపరిచి విద్వేషం రగిలించి, మతసారం మరుగుపరిచి విద్వేషం రగిలించి, అత్యనెక్క ఉన్మాదులు మనుషులను విడదీసి, అత్యనెక్క ఉన్మాదులు మనుషులను విడదీసి, దండలు దానం మన లౌకిక వారు. చూడ తరిమి కొట్టే భరతమాత కడుపు చిచ్చురగులుతోంది మధువాదుల చెరల చిక్కి విలపిస్తుంది భరతమాతుల చెరల చిక్కి విలపిస్తుంది దేశభక్తులార సమయమాసన్నమాయే దేశభక్తులార సమయమాసన్నమాయే దేశభక్తులార సమయ
Comrades, we will start the session shortly. Please, those who are outside, come inside. Now, we have received the fame of Martyr Pensalaya from Nellore. The reception committee wants to give a memento to his family. His wife and sons are here. He was killed by the Ganjai mafia, drug mafia. Comrades, we will start the session shortly. Please, those who are outside, come inside. Now, we have received the flame of Martyr Pensalaya from Nellore. The reception committee wants to give a memento to his family. His wife and sons are here. He was killed by the Ganjai mafia, drug mafia.
Martyr killed by a drug mafia and his family.
Rajasthan, Johar, Johar. Johar, Johar. Rajasthan.
He is a martyr killed by a drug mafia and his family. I told the family.
Comrades, please take your seats. Comrades, please take your seats. We'll start the session. Comrades, please take your seats. All the delegates are please requested to take their seats. Now we'll have a resolution.
Comrades, please take your seats. We'll start the session.
Tapan Sen, our General Secretary, will place a resolution against privatization of Vizag Steel Plant.
Comrade, I am placing this resolution before you against the Vizag Steel Plant privatization. Last
All
5
the
years the
delegates are
struggle is
please
on,
requested to take their seats.
and this resolution is meant for
Now we'll
reiterating
have a
much more
resolution.
determined way the
Comrade
resolve
Tapan Sen, our General
that will not
Secretary, will
allow
place a
private
resolution
steel, Vizag
against
Steel to be
privatization of
privatized
Vizag Steel Plant.
at any cost, by any means. It is no more a workers' movement. It has already become the movement of the people of the state. I am placing this
with the
resolution
working
before you
people
leading from the front.
Vizag steel plant
I am
privatization
presenting
last
this
5 years
resolution
of
before
struggle
you.
is on.
The 18th
And this
National
resolution
Conference
is
of
meant for
Central of Indian Trade Unions
Reiterating much more
strongly condemns
determined
the central
resolve
government's
that we will not
decision
allow
to
privatize
privatize
Steel
Rashtriya
to be
Ispat
privatized
Nigam Limited,
at any cost
RINL,
by any
popularly
means.
known as the Vizag
It is
Steel
no more
Plant,
a
VSP,
workers' movement.
and resolves to
It has
oppose
already
the
become the
anti-national,
movement of the people
anti-worker
of this
and
state.
anti-people move
With the
with
working
all
people
its strength.
leading from the
Vizag Steel
front.
Plant is a major
I am
shore-based
presenting this
integrated
resolution
steel
before you.
plant born
The
out of
18th
a historic
National
mass
Conference
movement of the
Central
people
of Indian
of
Trade
Andhra
Unions
Pradesh, the then
strongly
undivided
condemns
Andhra
the central
Pradesh,
government's decision to
in which
privatize Rashtriya
32
Ispat
people
Nigam
laid down
Limited,
their lives.
RINL, popularly
Established in
known as the Vizag Steel
1982,
Plant, VSP,
the plant
and
symbolizes
resolves
people's
to
struggle
oppose the
and national
anti-national,
self-reliance.
anti-worker,
Despite
and anti-people
persistent delays in fund release
with
by
all
the
its
central
strength.
government, which
Vizag
forced
Steel Plant is the
RINL
major
to
shore-based
borrow heavily
integrated steel
for
plant
commissioning
born out
the
of a historic mass
plant
movement
in
of the
early
people
1990s.
of Andhra Pradesh.
The plant
The then undivided Andhra
commenced
Pradesh,
production giving
in which
meaning to
32
the slogan
people laid down their
Visakha
lives.
Ukku Andhra Hakku,
Established in 1982,
spread over
the
nearly
plant
22,000 acres
symbolizes people's
with
struggle
modern
and
facilities and a natural
And
coastal advantage. VSP was envisioned as a strategic public sector asset. Steel is one of India's 8 core industries, crucial for infrastructures, defense, shipbuilding, railways, energy, and manufacturing. Located on the eastern coast with proximity to the international shipping routes, Vizag Steel Plant has immense long-term strategic and economic value. Since the advent of neoliberalism, successive central governments, guided by neoliberal policies of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, attempted to weaken and privatize RINL. Trade unions mobilized steel workers and people nationwide to resist these moves through sustained struggles. Historic struggles have been conducted in continuity. Ironically, Gangavaram port, originally meant to serve the RINL, was handed over to private corporate interests, forcing RINL to pay exorbitant charges to use infrastructure meant for its integrated operations. Contrary to the claims that public sector enterprises are inefficient, Vizag Steel Plant proved its viability by earning profits and repaying all loans by 2004. The government itself approved expansion of 3.4 million tons to 6.3 million tons, with plans to reach 7.3 million tons, recognizing its potential. VSP has contributed over 57,789 crores of rupees by March 2025 to central and state government, state exchequers through taxes and dividends, besides generating large-scale employment. The current financial stress of RINL is not due to workers' inefficiency, but deliberate policy of discrimination with a sabotaging approach. Unlike other public and private sector steel plants, VSP was denied captive iron ore mines, while others spend about 2,400 rupees per ton on iron ore, those who are having captive mines. Owing to their having captive mines, VSP pays over 8,000, almost 4 times per ton, making it structurally uncompetitive. Repeated demands for captive mines were ignored, forcing workers to launch historic struggles, including the Blood for Mines movement and mass protests such as 25-kilometer long Padayatra in 2018. Instead of correcting these distortions, the BJP-led central government decided on 27 January 2021 for strategic sale of RINL entirely, selling it lock, stock and barrel without consulting the parliament, state government, workers or the public. The decision clearly aimed to hand over a valuable national asset to favored corporate and foreign multinational interest. The decision triggered unprecedented mass resistance across Andhra Pradesh, uniting workers, farmers, students, professionals, traders, cultural organizations, and political parties, except the BJP. The argument that losses justify privatization is misleading, as losses arise from the denial of captive mines, heavy interest burdens due to delayed government funding, and discriminatory policy-induced disadvantages, conditions no private company faces. Sustained struggle forced the government to announce rupees 11,440 crores revival package, but this has practically gone for debt servicing as per the ministerial directive rather than strengthening the productive or new material security, raw material security. Both workers, both permanent and contract, face severe distress, including partial wage payments, non-deposit of provident funds, contributions, forced VRS, etc. During October 2024 to 25, workforce, both permanent and contract, has been drastically reduced forcibly by more than 10,000. The strength of the permanent workers on roll has been reduced from 18,273 in 2015 to present 9,378. More than 8,000 contract workers working in production operation for decades have been forcibly thrown out in arrogant violation of all statutory obligations, without any notice and payment of compensation, and most unscrupulously misutilizing the biometric attendance system. Permanent workers have been illegitimately denied their wage revision due to them since 1/1/2017, and now, after drastic cut in the workforce, both regular and contract, the management at the dubiously intended dictum has forcibly created an emergency-like atmosphere of terror and onslaughts in RINL. The workers unitedly has still been resisting such dubious conspiratorial move, braving all repression. The conference notes with pride that despite repression, financial strangulation and demoralization attempt, the united struggle of RINL workers, supported by the people of Andhra Pradesh and broader working class movement, has so far prevented corporate takeover. The struggle draws strength from the long tradition of resistance of steel workers and their trade unions and the Steel Workers Federation of India against privatization of public sector steel. The 18th Conference of CITU, therefore, unequivocally opposes the privatization of RINL Vizag Steel Plant in any form, rejects asset stripping, disinvestment, the move to outsource shop floor operation and strategic sale of public sector steel plants, demands allocation of captive iron ore mines to RINL and full support for expansion and modernization, condemns retrenchment, forced VRS, wage suppression and denial of statutory benefits, reaffirms that a steel is a strategic sector and Vizag Steel Plant must remain in public ownership, accountable to the people and the Parliament. The conference declares that the struggle to save Visakhapatnam Ukku is inseparable from the broader struggle to defend public sector enterprises, national resources and workers' rights against corporate-driven neoliberal policies. The conference calls upon the working class and the people of the country to launch a determined resistance struggle against the privatization and related onslaughts, including that of RINL/Vizag Steel Plant. Comrade, this is the proposal of a resolution placed before you to reiterate the resolve of the working people of steel industry in particular and the workers in general in this part of the country, the ongoing struggle, to reiterate the determination to carry on the struggle and just not to allow Vizag Steel Plant to be privatized at any cost and by any means. I request comment acceptance of this resolution by all of you. Thank you.
Comrades, the resolution has been... Oh, comrades. Resolution has been placed by the General Secretary. Those who adopt the resolution, accept the resolution, please raise your hands. I think there will be no opposition. The resolution is unanimously adopted. Now we have to take the struggle forward to protect the Vizag Steel Plant and prevent privatization of the public sector. Now, comrades, our central leaders of the central trade unions, they are here to greet the conference. First of all, I request Mantri Rajashekhar, National Senior Secretary of INTUC, to address the gathering.
At the outset, I am thankful to Tapan Senji and National Committee having invited INTUC to participate in the 18th All India National Conference of C2. So on behalf of INTUC and on behalf of our All India President Dr. Sanjeev Reddy, former Rajya Sabha member, former Labour Minister of Andhra Pradesh, I wish everyone and greet everyone to make the program success. In fact, Dr. Sanjeev Reddy intended to attend this conference due to his ill health. He was unable to attend this. Last minute he cancelled his program. So he asked me to attend this meeting and to convey his greetings to all of you. So anyway, this is one part. As a central trade union, we always support the trade union movement in the national level. But leave about my positions in the INTUC or the trade union, I am a trade union worker hailing from this place, Visakhapatnam. So Visakhapatnam, in the steel plant also. And Visakhapatnam is such a beautiful city. Already Narsingarao Reception Committee Chairman explained, Amrata Garu and just now he introduced a resolution, everybody passed it, and we are thankful to all the delegates opposing the privatization of Visakhapatnam Steel Plant. So Visakhapatnam Steel Plant is such a beautiful steel plant, and it is a backbone for this Uttaran, this is North Coastal region, and it is the only steel plant in a bigger industry in Andhra Pradesh. After division, it is the only bigger industry. So that they wanted to privatize, we are opposing all unions combinedly. We are making a struggle, and we are thankful to the C2 and other central trade unions also having extended support. Here I wanted to say Visakhapatnam is a city of destiny. The people from delegates, esteemed guests from different places, and the dear respected comrades, respected dignitaries on the dais, and especially the WFTC General Secretary, sacrificing in New Year movement, New Year Eve. He all the way came to Visakhapatnam and extended his warm greetings to the delegates, not only to the CI2 delegates or the WFTU, it's the entire working class, entire people of India. He extended, I am thankful to our WFTC General Secretary, sir. So this is, and he has given a very good message, not only in the country, everywhere. This problem is taking place, their governments are crushing the trade union movement. And even almost this war comes to the power, they are really forgetting the rights of the working class and human rights. Everywhere they are crushing the movement, the trade union movement. So we have to follow his, whatever the message is given, we have to follow. And especially I am thankful there are two these resolutions are passed before me, before I think our Tapan Senji about steel plant, and the February 12th strike, Madam Hemalata also, she introduced it. So we are fully supporting INTC as a premier organization in the country. We are supporting both the resolutions, and we will take forward to the people, and at the grassroots level also, we will take this message and to make it success. And because on behalf of INTC, we wish this program to success and to extend our solidarity for strengthening our further movement. So Visakhapatnam as such is a Visakhapatnam industrial city. Now the CITU has taken a decision. I am thankful to the CITU organization. They are very much disciplined, cadre-oriented organization. So they have taken a decision to organize Visakhapatnam because recently the world, this sector industrial summit also taken place. There are so many industries are going to come in this region. So at this crucial hour, it is needed to highlight the problems of the working class and to create an employment to the local youth or by various parts of the country. So this is the right place to go further, and because Visakhapatnam is a center of trade union movement, not only trade union, public sectors has created a big boon to the state exchequer and to the government also. Even Visakhapatnam Steel Plant is almost 60,000 crores we paid in the form of taxes and dividends. So such is the beautiful city. Now they wanted to ruin it. The central government, they wanted to ruin it. So now again they are introducing labor codes and all these things. So that there also it's another problem. And MGI, whatever Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Program was, they wanted to complete abolish it. So they gave to Ram something they wanted to introduce. With that, I think in the agriculture sector they don't get any privilege or don't get any security. So earlier they used to central government used to do 90% from the center and 10%. Now it is a burden on the state governments also. So like this, everywhere, whatever the rights we accrued and we got it with various fights, we are losing now. So I am once again thankful to the CITU organization, because CITU organization is such an organization. They work in the unorganized level and the agriculture level and in the tribal area, and not only that, they give education to so many people and they promote, they develop the leadership and all these things, they are doing it. So आप लोग बहुत various parts of the country, कोने-कोने से आए आप लोग, इतना दूर से विशाखापट्टनम आए थे. विशाखापट्टनम में आप लोग का ये इतना बढ़ रहा है कंपनी, डिवीजन ऑफ द आंध्र प्रदेश only Visakhapatnam steel plant is the major industry, there are other public sector also. इसमें हम लोग अभी गवर्नमेंट, the state government is also part of NDA and the central government is also part of NDA. दोनों गवर्नमेंट NDA का साथ है. NDA लोगों को वर्कर मूवमेंट को पूरा दबाने के लिए, क्रश करने के लिए वो लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं. इसमें हम लोग एक ही साथ मिलकर कर रहे हैं. C2 भी नेशनल लेवल में वो सपोर्ट लेके बाकी ट्रेड यूनियन विद द सपोर्ट ऑफ ऑल द ट्रेड यूनियंस दे आर लीडिंग द स्ट्रगल एट द नेशनल लेवल आल्सो. अमरजीत जी मैडम आल्सो, शी आल्सो इन द comes in this various debates, and they're all in the Sanjeev Reddy's actually in fact is supposed to come because of his ill health could not come. Even then also the all people they are model to the role model to the trade union movement. We should follow their footprints. So I am this is we got an opportunity to ventilate our feelings because the C2 is an organization because this is almost I think I'm talking to Narsingh Rao also. About almost 9 days these people have taken a program, 27th to January 4th. 9 days program is not an easy task. మనం చాలా మంది తెలుగు వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు ఇక్కడ. తెలుగు వాళ్ళు అందరూ ఉన్నప్పుడు నేను చూసినప్పుడు చూస్తే ఎంత ప్రాపర్గా ఆర్గనైజ్డ్ మేనర్లో చేస్తున్నారు. 9 days ఈవెంట్ చేయడం అనేది చాలా డిఫికల్ట్ ఇష్యూ. సో బికాజ్ అందరినీ కూడా కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ చేసిన వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఇంత చక్కగా ఒక ఆర్గనైజ్డ్ మేనర్లో ఏదైనా ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అవుతుంటే अभी इस आंध्रा इंस्टीट्यूट का दिस कन्वेंशन सेंटर है. ये कन्वेंशन सेंटर में कभी कभी पॉलिटिकल प्रोग्राम्स तो नहीं तो कहीं कुछ प्रोग्राम होने से डिस्टर्बेंस हो जाता है. इधर क्या हो रहा है, पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस, सिस्टमैटिक मूवमेंट अंत चक्कगा दिस मूवमेंट गोस इन ए पीसफुल मैनर. सो दिस इज द डिसिप्लिन ऑर्गनाइजेशन. वी हैव टू लर्न फ्रॉम द C2 what they are doing all these things. But at the same time this government is almost the trade union right, they are curtailing it. They are forcing everybody to leave their jobs. They are not giving proper employment. Only they are encouraging the corporate sector and leave whatever the benefits we got it, we will set. Even Vijay Steel Plant, even recently, madam, sir, recently we are not also, even productivity linkages circular also issued. कहीं भी नहीं है. So everybody, suppose you take an example of BHL or NTPC or ONGC or HPCL. So people come for the employment. Where they posted a department, it is up to after selection in the company, they will post it. Now is a very peculiar issue. Each department wise they are distributing the salary. The salary is also not giving in a time. So with that, that is the situation in Visakhapatnam steel plant we are facing. Everything controlled with no management, and unions they are not encouraging like the British rule. It's an emergency rule. They are doing it, all these things. So we are all fighting on those issues, and that's why we have not allowed anybody. The government has announced to 100% privatization. There they are legal advisor, transaction advisor, asset allier. We are not allowed anybody. That is what we have taken it. Still we are doing it even in a steel plant. Also we are doing everyday programs and all these things. In the city also, all the unions supporting for the steel plant agitation. We are doing it where city is also taking lead in this matter. So once again I am thankful to the organizers for giving an opportunity and the delegates. आप लोग कहीं कहीं आप लोग आए, आपका साथ INTC भी है. आप लोग क्या आपका कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो, कुछ हेल्प चाहिए तो हम लोग विशाख में रहेंगे. किसी को तकलीफ नहीं होना. Whatever help you require from us, we will definitely extend. We will not work together and with the unity movement, with the unity, we will go further and march forward and struggle. We have to continue the struggle. Unless we work together and to fight with the central government, we cannot achieve. And the trade union movement also, day by day, they wanted to demolish it also. That is why we have to organize in the grassroots level and even gig workers also. Now that is required even in Swiggy, Zomato, now in the Andhra Pradesh, not in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, they want to go on strike from today onwards. So such is the situation, and they don't give employment. If anybody goes and help employment, they are also crushing the movement, entire movement. So one way, this capitalism is encouraging, the poor man goes poorer and the rich man goes richer. That is happening in the country. So this country, only trade union movement can fight for the betterment lives of the people. All unions combinedly have to go further and all these things. And also we request, and the C2 has organized a program, and whenever you get an opportunity, kindly make a visit to Visakhapatnam steel plant and also the places in the, especially from Orissa, Bengal and all these people are coming to Kerala is a different one. Kerala, they have good scenic beauty and all these things. Here if they want any help or any, because here communist people mostly, you believe God or not, whatever it is, but everybody believes God. If you want to go Simhachalam or any temple and here Bandavaram temple, if any help is required also, please let us know. You through Narsinghrao or to anybody, the local organizers, we will extend all our support. Thank you, sir, giving an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sri Mantri Rajsekhar ji, just a minute. Next, I request Comrade Amarjit Kaur, General Secretary of AITUC, to greet the conference.
Comrade President of the open session, Comrade Pembis, General Secretary WFTU, all my colleagues from Central Trade Unions, and all the comrades sitting on the dais and in the hall, friends who have come to attend this open session, as well as the media persons. It's a very important occasion for us. We, the Central Trade Unions, decided about strike action, and this first opportunity for open announcement has come here, and you have adopted a resolution that's for you to take off, and all of us are taking off at our own organizations. The second resolution which you have taken here about Visakhapatnam Steel Plant RINL, all of us have witnessed very militant struggle, not only in Visakhapatnam, even during Corona period, when the central government did not want any opposition or any demonstration in Delhi. At that time, comrades, friends, the foreigners affected, their families affected, everybody, they dared to come to Delhi. And police was chasing them, not letting them come, going to the hotels, telling don't allow these people to come. All that was done. But you continued your battle, struggle, with support from all over India of our central trade unions. And here today you are adopting a resolution which is a collective battle of trade unions, farmers and the community people here in Visakhapatnam. So on these two resolutions, important resolutions which you have taken up, congratulations to you, we are part of it. You heard Comrade Pembis, his speech is circulated. So we are meeting in a background when internationally offensive of world capitalism and imperialist forces, colonial forces is too much. He mentioned about Palestine, he mentioned about other areas also, and resolve of the international working class to stand with the Palestinian people. Workers are never, were never, are never, will never be for wars. We are not for wars. We are for peace. We are not for the resources created by human beings to be wasted on weapons. We are not for that. We want to people have peaceful living, have a shelter on their head, their children going to school, their youngsters getting jobs, their elder people being taken care of, the sick people being taken care of. We want a society where there is harmony, there is peace, listening to each other, not hatred, not polarization, not animal-like killings. So for that, no wars are required. Peace is required. And that has been the cry of working class the world over. And that is how, during Second World War, from those era onwards, fight against fascism and Nazism, defeat of these forces in the Second World War, World Federation Trade Union was born. So we who are affiliates of WFTU, we know our history. We know how we were born. We know how capitalism during recession creates these wars. We know how they try to meet their crisis at the cost of human dignity, at the cost of labor dignity, at the cost of common man's life. We know it. And we also know they can never give solutions. They can always give burdens to the people. Those who believe in war, believe in Nazism, believe in fascism, believe in colonialism, and now believe in new colonization of the world. In new form, not going with weapons, trying to control trades, trying to control businesses, trying to use their international finance capital and ruin the economies of different countries. We know it. This is how they are proceeding. And it is in that background Trump is making his tariff announcements. Both the things are going on. You are perpetuating war because you want to control routes. You want to control trade. You want to control businesses. And on the other hand side, you are trying to create a situation where you want to squeeze and capture the markets and trades of other countries. It is in this background, WFTU General Secretary has come here to greet your 18th Congress of CITU. So there is a lesson in his, and there is a direction in his deliberations which he made it. I welcome it. And once again, I assure we are there to strengthen WFTU. That is our dream. We want the world to have socialism. Now, comrades, I also saw 2 books distributed. All of us got on the dais. One is on labor codes and one is on Shram Shakti Niti. It's important for you people to naturally go through it. But that is the whole issue which has brought us to the coming strike. 12th February strike. It became an opportunity to pass a resolution here. So, comrades, what is that? I want to focus on that. But definitely before that, why this has come? Why this has come? Because the present government which is ruling our country, BJP की सरकार जो चल रही है नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में, who they are? They damn care for the nation. उनको देश से कोई मतलब नहीं है. देश के ट्रेड से, बिजनेस से, फार्मर से, किसान से, मजदूर से, हमारे विद्यार्थियों से, हमारे शिक्षकों से, हमारे समाज के रंग कर्मियों के, हमारे इतिहासकारों के, लिटरेचर के लोगों के, नाटककारों के, उनको किसी से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. Who are they? Let us understand. And that's where the last sentence of your resolution on this old strike, it says the conference reminds the working class of our country that this is a fight it can't afford to lose. आज हम करो या मरो की स्थिति में है. हम अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते लूज करना. Why? कौन बैठे हैं कुर्सी पे? We have to understand. And being a working class, we have to politically understand the whole situation. And I am very sure your documents, your consultations, your discussions, your interventions, your adoption of the documents and all, and your future tasks naturally will be oriented with the working class political understanding. I'm very sure. लेकिन उसी पे मैं कहना चाह रही हूं साथियों, ये वो लोग हैं जिन्होंने ब्रिटिश साम्राज्यवाद के खिलाफ लड़ा नहीं. They are sitting here. The स्वयं सेवक्स ऑफ RSS, राष्ट्रीय स्वयं सेवक के जो स्वयं सेवक है RSS के, वो सत्ता में हैं. And they never fought British imperialism. Who fought against British imperialism? Indian people, Indian farmers, Indian workers, Indian students, youth, Indian teachers, and all people in the field of art and culture. सब लोग लड़े, गांव और शहर लड़ा. ये क्या कर रहे थे जो आज कर रहे हैं, जो इन्होंने तब सीखा? What did they learn? Divide and rule the nation. This is how the polarization politics was perpetuated in this country by British rule. And these people who betrayed India's freedom movement, who were always supporting the rulers of that time, the British colonial masters, they were pursuing their policies of divide and rule. ये उनसे सीखे हैं और ये दुनिया में सीखे हैं. ये फासीवाद, नाजीवाद केवल जर्मनी में पैदा नहीं हुआ. फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर के दौरान फर्स्ट वर्किंग क्लास स्टेट आई सत्ता में. 1917 में अक्टूबर रेवोल्यूशन के बाद पूरी दुनिया के अंदर वर्किंग क्लास मूवमेंट तेज हो गई, लेकिन पूरी दुनिया के अंदर साम्राज्यवादी, घोर पूंजीवादी घबरा गए, डर गए. और उस सिचुएशन में ये फासीवादी, नाजीवादी कैरेक्टर पूरी दुनिया में पैदा किए गए. It was not only Hitler and Mussolini there, it was RSS in India also. We should understand, it has nothing in isolation when we are talking internationally. उस हिसाब से ये कौन लोग हैं, इसको हमें समझना चाहिए. हमें और आपको तो क्लेम करने की जरूरत नहीं है ना. RSS के जो लीडर थे, हेडग्वार, फाउंडर थे, वो खुद क्लेम किए हैं. उनका कहना है हमारी अंग्रेजों से लड़ाई नहीं है. उनका कहना था ये सारे नौजवान भगत सिंह, सुखदेव, राजगुरु, ये सब भटके हुए हैं. ये उनका कहना था कि हम हिंदू राज बनाएंगे. ये उनका कहना था कि क्रिश्चियंस, मुस्लिम और रेड फ्लैग हमारे दुश्मन हैं. ये उन्हीं का कहना था. और उन्हीं से पूछा गया था आपकी फिलॉसफी क्या है, तो उन्होंने कहा था नाजिज्म, फासिज्म. उन्हीं से पूछा गया था हु इंस्पायर यू, तो उन्होंने कहा हिटलर एंड मुसोलिनी. So it's not we, Mr. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, we are not blaming you. We are reminding you what your own guru told you, and you are following those footpath and footsteps. उसी को फॉलो कर रहे हैं. इसलिए आज ये डिवाइड एंड रूल की पॉलिटिक्स जो ब्रिटिशर्स की थी, वो हिंदुस्तान में ला रहे हैं. उसी तरीके से they were never for public sector, they were never for public services. ये पब्लिक सेक्टर और पब्लिक सर्विसेज का स्टार्टिंग में ही विरोध किए. 1955-56 में इंडियन पार्लियामेंट के रिकॉर्ड्स उठा के हमें देखने चाहिए. एंड वी विल फाइंड हाउ भारतीय जनसंघ पार्टी, द ओल्ड नेम ऑफ भारतीय जनता पार्टी, देयर वेरी सेम लीडर्स, हाउ दे अपोज्ड पब्लिक सेक्टर फॉर्मेशन इन इंडिया and the public services in India. So what Narendra Modi is doing what they believe in. And that's why it is dangerous that such a force is sitting in the power in center, जो पूरा हमारा achievement है independent India के अंदर public services और public sector का, और सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो पब्लिक सर्विसेज में और पब्लिक सेक्टर में क्रिएट हुआ है, ये उसको वाइंड अप करना चाहते हैं. दे सिंपली वांट टू वाइंड अप ऑल द पब्लिक सेक्टर एंड पब्लिक सर्विसेज बिकॉज दे नेवर बिलीव्ड इन इट. ये नारा गवर्नमेंट हैज नो बिजनेस टू डू बिजनेस, इन्हीं का नारा है जो पार्लियामेंट में 55-56 में इन्होंने दिया, जब देश में ये पॉलिसीज डिस्कस की जा रही थी पंडित नेहरू के टाइम पे. सो लेट अस बी वेरी क्लियर. इसीलिए तो कहना है कि we can't afford to lose, as because the trade unions have been in the leading, struggling against their policies, against their anti-worker, anti-farmer stances.
That's why the trade unions are the first under attack. तो हमारे पे लेबर कोड्स में आएंगे तो किस पे आएंगे? ट्रेड यूनियंस को कुचलना है, ये नहीं किया जाएगा तो और क्या किया जाएगा? So this labor codes is outcome of that situation, because they don't want anybody to put up stiff battle against them, and we the working class will put up the stiff battle against them. हम लड़ेंगे, यही हमारा रिजॉल्व है. लोग पूछते हैं कि लेबर कोड्स के खिलाफ तुम लड़े क्यों नहीं? 5 हड़ताल किए हम लोग. 5 strikes we conducted against these labor codes. Anybody trying to tell if Modi media and Modi media doesn't show it, it is not our fault. We fought and fought. And that's why now when the labor codes are notified, it is important for us. The first action which we have decided is 26th November we made a good mobilization. But then we said we will go in for other actions, and we have decided about this strike unitedly on 9th February. So it is understood all of us have to collectively see to it that this strike becomes successful. It is against privatization, it is against labor codes. समय कम है, साथी बता रहे हैं और साथियों ने बोलना है. That's why I don't go into those details. The documents will be before you, and you will be going through those documents, especially about labor codes and about Shram Shakti Niti. पर हमें ले जा कहाँ रहे हैं, उसी पे मैं लास्ट में कहना चाहती हूँ. Indian Constitution's preamble talks of democracy, secularism, sovereignty and socialism. We are not a socialist state, but we were a welfare state. Socialism is our objective. We want to reach there. But welfare state तो हिंदुस्तान में establish हुआ. Mr. Narendra Modi's government doesn't want even welfare state to exist. ये जो मनरेगा पे अटैक हुआ, उसको वाइंड अप किया गया, स्टेट्स के ऊपर बोझा डाला गया. कितनी और वेलफेयर स्कीम्स हैं जिसमें स्टेट्स पे बोझा डाला गया है, उन सबको वाइंड अप करना चाहते हैं. यहां स्कीम वर्कर्स बहुत बड़ी गिनती में डेलीगेट्स आई हुई है, लड़ाकू है. उनकी स्कीम्स को भी कब वाइंड अप करेंगे देखने की बात होगी, जब पार्लियामेंट से पास नरेगा को वाइंड अप कर दिया. तो ये वेलफेयर स्टेट भी नहीं रहने देना चाहते. ये हम दो और हमारे दो हैं, मिस्टर मोदी, अमित शाह, अडानी एंड अंबानी. ये जो इनका स्पीड चल रहा है कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर्स के हक में चल रहा है, और आम आदमी को आप केवल 5 किलो अनाज देके उस पर मेहरबानी कर से उससे वोट बटोरने के लिए वोट से पहले कुछ पैसे उनके अकाउंट में डालो और वोट ले लो और वेलफेयर स्कीम्स को वाइंड अप कर दो. दिस इज हाउ द ट्रेंड इज गोइंग ऑन. इसीलिए वोट चोरी भी चलता है, इसीलिए इलेक्शन कमीशन भी जेब में है, इसीलिए हिंदुस्तान की सत्ता का हर इंस्ट्रूमेंट इन्होंने घुसा दिए हैं अपने आरएसएस के लोग, जो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को नहीं मानते. और इसीलिए मेरा आप साथियों से कहना है, जो ये श्रम शक्ति नीति लेके आए हैं वो क्या कहती है? जो हमने लड़ा 19th सेंचुरी ऑनवर्ड, हमने 150 साल लड़ा कानूनों को हासिल करने के लिए. वो मॉडर्न लॉज हैं हमारे, उनको ये बोल रहे हैं ये आर्काइक है. आवर लेबर लॉज फॉट फॉर 150 years and which we achieved, they are saying these are archaic. Then what is modern for them? हजारों बरस पहले जो स्मृतियां थी वो मॉडर्न है. हजारों वर्षों से जो चल रहा था, मजदूर 17 घंटे 18 घंटे 20 घंटे काम कर रहा था, वेज भी नहीं मिल रहा था, सामाजिक सुरक्षा भी नहीं थी, डिग्निटी ऑफ लेबर नहीं थी, काम के घंटे तो सुनिश्चित थे ही नहीं, जितना मर्जी काम लो. इसके खिलाफ लड़के हम कानून लिए, और वो हजारों वर्षों पहले मजदूर को वेतन मांगने का अधिकार नहीं. अगर तुम बोलोगे तो जुबान काट दी जाएगी. अगर तुम मालिक लोग कुछ उसके कपड़े और उसके खाने के अलावा कुछ ज्यादा दे दोगे तो तुम्हें पाप लगेगा. मालिकों को डराया है उन स्मृतियों में, तुम्हें पाप लगेगा. उन सारी स्मृतियों का सार देखिए, वो
ह्यूमन बीइंग को ह्यूमन नहीं मानते, मानव नहीं मानते। वर्किंग क्लास पॉलिटिक्स हैज गिवन ए कंसेप्ट ऑफ ह्यूमन डिग्निटी and human rights to whole of civilization in the world. And working class movement has brought the whole question of labor rights as the dignity of labor. Working class throughout the world has fought and got a situation when today even UN system had to say that the labor rights are human rights. So this is a long battle which we conducted, but these people don't believe in that. They want today India to be recolonized, and that is why they came behind Mr. Trump, or whosoever name it will be, international finance capital and neo-colonial masters who are emerging here and there in every continent. In this background, holding these conferences of our various central trade unions, every meeting, every program, every action is very, very important. करो या मरो का स्थिति है, डू और डाई का स्थिति है, अगर हमें बचाना है। और हम याद रखें, हमारा हिंदुस्तान नौजवान है। 65% of our population is below 35 years of age. It's youth who is not getting employment. They are suffering. When I was coming from Delhi, yesterday I was looking at the newspaper. What is the newspaper? Odisha people must be sitting here. In Odisha, day before yesterday, they conducted recruitment of home guards. For only 183 posts, 1,800 youth were sitting there for, you see, for that home guard job. Sixth standard pass onwards. But students with post-graduation, with engineering, with PhDs were sitting there to get a job of home guard. Such is the pathetic condition of our country. So youth is important for us, our future worker. आज वो youth suffer कर रहा है, बारूद के ढेर पे बैठा है ये देश, क्योंकि youngster के सामने कोई सपना नहीं है. So working class has to see to it that now once we have built up good bridges, workers and farmers unity has come about. We are continuously trying to have some common struggles also and supporting each other. In that, it is very, very necessary that our youngsters are interwoven into. Youth unemployed, a future worker must be mobilized in a very, very big way. And along with that, what is happening to our women? What did they do to Sengar ko? Sengar ko High Court bail de deta hai और Supreme Court को रोकनी पड़ती है और लोगों को एजिटेशन करना पड़ता है. Where are we? कहाँ है ये गवर्नमेंट? एनवायरमेंट के खिलाफ, क्लाइमेट के खिलाफ, पूरी अरावली हिल के मामले का डेफिनेशन बदलवा दिया इन्होंने. लोगों का ह्यू एंड क्राई हुआ है तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को उसको स्टे करना पड़ा. So we are in a very bad situation where country is at stake, environment is at stake, climate is at stake, youth is at stake, because no employment for them, and working class under attack and farmers under attack. In this background, I think it is a right time for you to, naturally you will be dealing with all these issues, to come out with important strategies how we will be combating. Every union at their level should do it, and then collectively we have to carry it forward to see to it those who are anti-people, anti-worker, anti-farmer, anti-national, they are thrown out of the power. This is how we should go ahead as far as our movement is concerned. My many, many congratulations for beginning of this 18th conference of CITU, and I express that it will be grand success as far as your conference will be. Thank you, comrades. Lal Salam.
Thank you, Comrade Amarjit. Just a minute.
When you are doing it?
Now I request Comrade Jai Sen Meher, All India Secretariat member of AIUTUC,
to greet the conference.
Presidium of the inaugural session of 18th All India Conference of CITU and respected General Secretary of WFTU, Comrade Pambis, leaders of CITU on dash, leaders of fraternal central trade unions, leaders of the mass organizations and delegates of this conference, I on behalf of All India United Trade Union Center, AIUTC, convey my revolutionary congratulations to all. I wish the success of the 18th All India Conference of CITU, and I hope this conference will discuss the problems and condition of the working class people of our country and to chalk out plan and program to strengthen the united movement of central trade unions against the ruthless exploitation by ruling capitalist class and the policies taken by BJP government at center and the states government in different states. Comrades, you know that after the devastation of the socialist camp, the capitalist imperialists have been imposing their exploitation on the working class people throughout the globe. As a part of the world capitalist class, imperialist class, Indian monopoly capitalists pressurize the governments to implement the anti-workers policies, anti-people policies in our country. Comrades, the BJP government at center from 2014 have been taking many anti-people policies, anti-workers policies, anti-peasants policies. In this context, by abolishing 29 labor laws, central BJP government have introduced 4 labor codes and it was notified to implement in our country. So, all the central trade unions, including CITU, AIUTC, the 12th February ensuing All India General Strike is before us. To success the ensuing 12th February All India General Strike, all the leaders of the fraternal central trade unions and the delegates present here, we have to prepare to success the general strike. In this context, we have conducted many general strikes and movements in our country. But we should also review our limitations. I, on behalf of AIUTC, I request all central trade unions to prepare among the employees and workers in organized sectors. In past, the involvement, the active participation of the regular employees and workers in organized sectors are absent. So we have to prepare among the employees and workers in organized sectors, in key industries, power sector, coal sector, steel sectors, to participate actively in the 12th February All India General Strike. Comrades, the working class movement in our country is going on. The central trade unions are combinedly, unitedly fight against the policies of the central governments, the then UPA governments, and now the policies of the BJP governments. Our demands to withdraw the 4 anti-labor labor codes, to withdraw the Electricity Amendment Bill 2025 and other draconian black acts. So in this context, we have to conduct the working class movement against the anti-worker policies, anti-people policies of the government at center and states, as well as we should conduct the working class movement of our country to end the exploitation, to overthrow the exploitative capitalist systems. So our working class movement should be in a direction to overthrow the exploitative systems, not only to overthrow the parties in power. We must prepare our movement to conduct our movement against the policies of every government, including BJP or other political parties' government. But also, we have to conduct our movements in such a way that working class movement should be conducive to overthrow the exploitative system, and we should conduct our movement to establish socialism. So in this way, I hope 18th conference of CITU will pass its resolution and take its plan and program to build up the working class movement in this country and to strengthen central trade unions, united movements. This much I concluded. I thank to all the delegates and the leaders of CITU for this conference. This much, comrade, I concluded.
Thank you, Comrade Jason Meher. Just a minute, Comrade. Now I request Comrade G. Madhusudan from TUCC.
So, good afternoon to all the dignitaries who are on the stage and all the fraternal delegates who are sitting here and all the ferocious comrades who have attended this conference, to the media people and the volunteers who are supporting each and everyone. A good afternoon, a very good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I myself, G. Madhusudan Naidu, I am from TUCC, Trade Union Coordination Center. I am from the TUCC, and from the TUCC, I support the resolutions which have made by Madam U. Hemalata Garu and also Sir Tapan Sen sir. They too have proposed to two proposals, and from the TUCC, I completely support all those things. And also, I would like to thank you, the CI2U core committee, for bringing up all the trade unions all over the India under one tree, under one shadow, and making this 18th conference a grand success. And I truly wish the CI2U committee to make this, and it will make this 18th conference a grand success. And next, I'm a working class. I work in an RINL, that is Vizag Steel Plant. In the two resolutions, second resolution is about RINL. I personally facing a lot of problems with the labor codes. I personally facing very big problem with the labor codes. From this conference, those two resolutions which we have made, जो resolutions हमने बनाया, जो madam and sir बोल दिया, वो दो resolutions हम बिल्कुल support करना है. And we have to make the strike, that is on February 12th, a grand success. With this, it will be a slipper shot for the ruling government. They will open their eyes and again they will verify the labor codes. Because these are the labor codes which do not help any of the working class people. Not only the common people, no common people also. So definitely there is a need, there is a high intensity for each and every person to stand against these labor codes and to participate in the strike and make this strike a grand success. And also, I request each and every trade union of the different states to support the second resolution, that is to stop disinvestment of the RINL. I truly wish each and every union are aware of the disinvestment which is going in the RINL, that is Vizag Steel. Vizag Steel is the only steel plant which is present in the northern Andhra Pradesh, which is a Navratna, which is under the category of Navratna. And from that Navratna steel plant, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are dependent directly and indirectly. If that RINL is undergoing for the disinvestment, there are thousands and lakhs of people who will face the problems, who will face the consequences financially also. So I request the trade unions to please support the second second one, which is to disinvestment of the RINL. And next, I would like to conclude my speech by saying one example, that is the ruling government. In 2014, it has came into force by saying a few of the false statements, Modi's government. In that, I would like to tell only one example, that is Achhe Din. I think everyone is aware of the Achhe Din which is said by the Modi. Achhe Din is for whom? Is that capitalistic persons or the working class persons? And I would like to give only one example. In 2014, the price of 1 liter petrol is of about 70 rupees. In 2024, that price has increased to 108 rupees. Achhe Din is for who? For the working class? For the common people? Or the capitalistic society? Only in the COVID time, during those 2 years of the struggles, every individual's per capita income has been reduced thoroughly. But only 2 persons in India, only 2 persons, that is the capitalistic persons, only 2 persons, their income has increased to 35,000 lakh crore. How is this possible? Achhe Din is for working class? Achhe Din is for common people? Or Achhe Din is for capitalistic people? From the TUCC, we strongly oppose the capitalistic society. And I think I am the youngest person on the stage. And I request all the trade unions to show a way, to show a path for the youngsters like us. And we need a socialistic society. We strongly oppose the capitalistic society. I request the other trade unions and all the dignitaries who are more senior to me to support us, to guide us, to show a way for the socialistic society. We don't want capitalistic society. And thank you. And
Thank you, Comrade J. Madhusudan.
I'm very much privileged that this is my first speech in front of the greatest leaders of trade unions. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade J. Madhusudan. Yes. Now I request Comrade Sonia George from SEWA to greet the conference.
Respected President, Comrade Hemlata, General Secretary, Comrade Tapan, all other office bearers of CITU, all senior trade union leaders, and all other fraternal trade union leaders, and trade union leaders sitting here, my dear friends and comrades. Warm greetings from SEWA, Self-Employed Women's Association, Central Trade Union in the country fighting for the rights of women workers in the informal sector. And first of all, we are very grateful for CITU to invite us as part of this union delegation who are supposed to come and say revolutionary greetings and also be together in the common struggle towards working class rights. So as starting from INTUC, respected leader and also Comrade Amarjit and others, this space is very unique in the country in terms of trade unions coming together, despite the ideological differences, despite the political differences, but coming together for the purpose of the workers' rights, and that is where we stand unique in this country, and we are fighting together for the rights of the workers in this country, and that makes us more unique as a common trade union platform. And that is where I think the struggles, the strikes have been announced in this platform as a resolution and also announced by our central senior trade union leaders. And as Comrade Pambis and our senior trade union leaders have already expressed or also have already laid the foundation or laid the base of our discussion, how should we look at the national and international scenario, especially the political economy of the world in this very crucial moment of where we are together fighting and together taking our steps ahead. Because we know at the international level how trade union movements are targeted by the rightist governments, and he has well explained how it has been and how it has curtailed the right to freedom, right to collective bargaining, right to common representation, etc. That is well explained by him at this juncture. And also Comrade Amarjit has explained what is happening in this country. And I think that is where we all have a very unique voice of saying no to anti-labor policies, anti-labor codes, anti-labor laws, anti-labor activities that have been initiated by our government. This is not just anti-labor that we have to say, this is anti-people that we are saying. Because wherever we go, we talk in terms of economy, we talk in terms of humanity, we talk in terms of politics, we talk in terms of the rights of the people. Everywhere we see the same fights have been emerging from the ground, and the people have been standing together at various moments which are unexpected, and the strikes, call-outs have been really affecting the politics. It is shattering the base of many countries that we have seen all over the world, maybe very recently also. And in that context, what makes people to respond to like that? Do we have equal rights as workers? Do we have equal rights as women? Do we have equal rights as students and youth in this country? Do we have equal rights as the formal and informal workers in the country or in the world? When rights are being curtailed, when the rights are questioned from the base, people start struggling, people start resisting, and that is what we are seeing. And what we have seen, we were thinking, as you know, there are some set goals before the international politics. In terms of, first of all, we are very familiar with the goal of sustainable development goal. That is very important. All over the world, people are talking. Everybody should be equal. No one should be left out. That is the UN slogan that we are hearing always. That is, everybody should be equal through sustainable goals, and we have been talking that from last 15-20 years, and by 2030 we should achieve sustainable development goals. And next, we are here, 2026, we are starting tomorrow. And how much we have achieved in terms of sustainable development? Who are we talking about in terms of sustainable development? Here we talked about the recent inequality report has come out, the 2025 inequality report has come out, where it says that inequality, it cannot be looked from the same old perspective that we are looking towards. Inequality has many lenses that we have to look at. It is not only just looking at the poor and the rich, or the have and the have-nots. Inequality has different dimensions that affects the life of the people. It affects in terms of course, the poor and the rich means very few becoming rich and majority becoming poor, that's for sure. That is the main thing for sure. But second, inequality in terms of wages, inequality in terms of inclusion in the work politics, inequality in terms of inclusion in the right to property, inequality in terms of gender, and we are not familiar in terms of talking into inequality in terms of climate. We started talking about climate injustice. We started talking about who are marginalized by climate injustice. So inequality has different approaches that have come up, especially in the World Inequality Report, where we have to look at how people have been suffering. Why anti-labor codes are coming? Why anti-labor policies are coming? Why anti-people policies are coming? Why anti-environment development policies are coming? Who are marginalized finally as part of all these struggles is very important, I think we have to look at. When labor codes come, when we talk about minimum wages, when there are international standards to think about, labor standards, human rights standards, development standards to think about, but when new policies, new laws emerges challenging these international standards, what are we going to achieve? We talk about minimum floor wage when we have to talk about minimum living wages. Can you look at what is the difference between floor and living wage? That is something that we have to talk about to our masses who are settling here. When we talk about formalization, when we want maximum number of people to be in the formalized workforce, informalization is increasing. Without talking about informality, without talking about the increasing informalization of the common people, the workers in this country, can we talk about class struggles? How are we going to talk about transition in the midst of this large-scale informalization that is happening? When people are denied of minimum wages, when people are denied of social security, when international labor standards assures you 9 minimum social security through ILO Convention 102, the government is saying, you take some schemes, you take some insurance policies, you just include in some accident insurance policies, that's it. Where is your protection as maternity, as women workers? When the new Social Security Code is coming into existence, no more maternity benefit act in this country. The women in this country, the working class women in this country have been fought to attain the maternity benefit for them, for the working class women who are supposed to be considered equal in the workforce. but no more maternity benefit act, it has become a scheme. That is the same to SI, that is the same to EPF. And after all, when you are below 10, none of you are going to include in any of the schemes under the Social Securities Code. So what do you mean by inclusion? Where does inclusion and inequality approach in the pathways? That is very important for us to think about. So dear comrades, this is the juncture that we have to crucially think about the rights being denied as workers, the rights being denied as women, the rights being denied as children, the rights being denied as the most marginalized people in this country. I have mentioned about climate injustice. Who are the victims of the climate injustice? We are talking about the changing weather conditions everywhere, changing climatic conditions, and who are going to be affected? Who has to take responsibility? Just transition has been one of the key terminologies as part of the Sustainable Development Goals that around the world, all the UN agencies and international financial institutions have been talking about just transition. Who's just transition from where? Do you want to include your account in persons providing more carbon emissions? Who are providing or who are producing more carbon emissions in this country, in this world? Is it the poor? Is it the working class? Is it the marginalized? Who is going to acquire the ocean, the common properties like the forest for their purposes? Are the working class doing it? Thinking about just transition. How are we taking away the rights of the working class, the most marginalized people from the resources that they have been owning for centuries in this country, for decades in this country? Just transition. Nobody is there to retain the rights in that sense. So dear friends, my proposal here is for my plea to the dear Congress who are sitting here and listening or going to take part retaining the deliberations in a very serious way without talking seriously about changing the structural approach towards people, structural approach towards humanity, structural approach towards women. Why women have been denied the wages, the minimum wages, why there is a huge gender division of wages in this country and around the world. Women have been denied, there is a huge, women are getting only 30% of what men earn in this country. Why is this huge gap that is coming about? Why the informal sector have been left out of the labor laws and labor policies? So for us, I think we have to very deeply think about it. That is where when students are denied their rights to become workers, they are becoming interns, they are becoming apprentices, women are becoming part of the low floor wage job. The most marginalized Dalits, Adivasis, fisher people have been denied of their traditional livelihood rights. I think this is the common place that we all have to emerge together. We all have to fight together. We all have to think in the context of the new labor codes, we have been denied. We have no place as workers who have the right to earn minimum wages. We don't have any place as workers who have the rights to collective bargaining and freedom of association. We as workers, the majority of the workers, the informal workers, informal sector, have no rights to have minimum social security which the International Labour Organization guarantee in this country. And we as workers in this country, as majority of the workers who are scattered and have been scattered or getting scattered, or our workplaces have been taken away and have been scattered to the margins. We don't have any rights to working conditions. We don't have any rights to occupational health and safety, and violence and harassment prevails in the workforces in terms of forced retrenchments, in terms of denial of jobs, in terms of denial of even, that is what we have been seeing in the Vizag steel plant, that we have been seeing in terms of increasing contractualization and termination of workers, and this is what the reality that we are facing. So my dear friends, this is where we have to stop a little bit, think very seriously, and go very seriously, systematically challenging this structural forces that are coming to take away our rights, take away our existence in this universe as workers, as human beings, and people who come together to survive, doing hard work, doing 24 hours job, and sustaining to have minimum social security and minimum right to livelihood and living in this country. So at this juncture, let us come together, let us meet all other partners in this juncture, Let us hold hands with them. Let us hold hands with the majority of the people of the country and fight together towards unified justice, unified labor rights, and to exist in this country as a human being, as a worker, as a common person, as a Dalit, as an Adivasi, as a woman, a student, and a youth. Thank you so much. Zindabad.
Thank you, Comrade Sonia. Just a minute. Now I could request Comrade Clifton D. Rosario, Vice President of AICCTU.
Lal Salam, comrades. Dear comrades of the Presidium, colleagues of Central Trade Unions, and delegates of the 18th All India Conference of CITU, on behalf of the All India Central Council of Trade Unions, AICCTU, I extend my revolutionary greetings to you all. I think we all understand that this very important conference is taking place on the heels of a declaration of war on the working class, not just the labor codes. In the last 1 month, what we've seen is that the union government under Mr. Narendra Modi has opened up various sectors to the private players. Nuclear sector has been opened out, 100% foreign investment in the insurance sector has been allowed. There is talk of a draft seed bill, a draft electricity bill, and of course, the lifeline of rural India, which was Manrega, has now been replaced by something called the Gramji Act. All of this taken together can only be seen as a union government, as a government that has no concern for its workers and is confident that whatever its politics it is playing, it is going to be able to push through all of this without any kind of resistance. It is in this background that I think we need to see the labor codes coming into force. What we are saying is that 21st of November, when the 4 labor codes came into force, it is a black day for the workers, and we'll have to commemorate that as such until the labor codes are repealed. Dear friends, I think I don't have too much more to say in the sense of we know most of the things that are happening about us. We know the kind of context that we are in. Comrade Sonia was talking about the kind of inequality that we are facing. I think this is really an extremely challenging times for the working class in India, and definitely we need to reflect on the kind of resistance that we are able to pose and the kind of militant struggles that we are able to build. The labor codes represent a fundamental restructuring of labor relations to weaken workers' bargaining power and strengthen employers' control. By deliberately reorienting labor laws in favor of capital, the state has openly come out as the guarantor and the enforcer of corporate interests against labor. There are 2 specific aspects, I think, about the labor codes. I'm not going to go into the details of the labor codes, but 2 aspects of this labor code which have to be of serious concern to us. Number 1, the attack on federalism. The union government has not stopped at one place to undermine federalism in this country. The manner in which the labor codes have been passed, the manner in which the labor codes are being forced on state governments is an outright attack on federalism. And secondly, the centralization of powers in the union government. If you look at the labor codes, it's a skeleton. Most of the powers are in the rule making. This kind of a centralization, this kind of delegated legislation is unprecedented, and this is something that we have to be extremely cautious about. There is one thing that I wanted to share with you which really troubles me. As trade unions, one major concern for us is that the 2 important weapons of the trade union movement, which is the right to strike and collective bargaining, are seriously undermined by the labor codes. I recall that when the Industrial Disputes Bill was introduced in 1938, Baba Sahib Ambedkar had said this: "A strike is simply another name for the right to freedom. It is nothing less than the right to the freedom of one's services on any terms that one wants to obtain. And once you concede that right to freedom, you necessarily concede the right to strike." However, under the new labor codes, strikes are virtually prohibited. Secondly, unions, the registration can be cancelled by the registrar on any arbitrary kind of a reason. These two weapons that we have, that the working class has, that is what is being attacked over here. The four labor codes are also being presented as an anti-colonial labor reform. Nothing could be further from the truth. The struggles and sacrifices of countless workers have snatched workers' rights from the hands of the British, and those very rights and laws are consigned to the history books. This argument at decolonization is a ruse to cover up the essential orientation of the state's role in mediating class relations in the country. This is made very clear in the Shram Shakti Niti. It is shocking. That document says that work is Raj Dharma, sacred duty. So workers now don't have to worry about their wages. You just work. You be very grateful that some employer is giving you a job. He is your Annadata. You bow to him. And whatever that Annadata gives you, you accept that. That is caste in this country, and that is now labor policy in this country. So when we are saying that we are opposing the labor codes, we are also saying that this entire Niti, the so-called Shram Niti, that has to be consigned to the dustbin as well. This fascist assault on the working class comes at a time when the working class world over is confronted with old and new challenges. The intensifying crisis of capitalism is causing global economic turmoil, greater inequality, and harsher worker exploitation. This domestic unrest is directly linked to the increasing international conflicts, imperialist wars, and foreign interventions. Ordinary people bear the brunt through poverty, joblessness, job displacement, state repression, and the loss of hard work rights. As we battle on, class unity is our guiding light. Class unity is our strength. This is possible by evolving a paradigm of class unity and class struggle that does not stop shy of challenging caste, gender, and communal discrimination. This objective is ultimately to unite all workers, transcending caste and other lines, to stand up against all forms of injustice, discrimination, and oppression. Over the years, and this I think is a matter of grave concern, the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh has done everything it can to sow the seeds of Hindutva in the workers. But now we are seeing a direct attack on the workers, a physical attack on the workers. Over the past month, we have witnessed the killing, the lynching of 2 migrant workers. The Bengali Muslim migrant worker Jewel Rana Sheikh, who was killed in Sambalpur, and the Chhattisgarh migrant worker Ram Narayan Bagel, who was lynched in Kerala at the hands of Hindutva forces. With this, the very lives of workers are at threat. The communal polarization is now a threat to the workers and not just a divisive feature. Fighting caste and communal divisions among the workers becomes an essential aspect of trade union activism and working class consciousness. The neoliberal economic order has pauperized the working class and created the material conditions for the rise of fascist and authoritarian regimes worldwide. In this overall global climate of rise in reactionary bourgeois regimes, in India, Hindutva returns in the unconditional defense of a crisis-ridden capitalism. For workers seeking a life of dignity, resistance is not a choice, it is now a necessity. The urgent task before us is to revive the militant trade union struggles and rebuild working class consciousness to wage a collective fight for emancipation from exploitation by the ruling classes and insecurities imposed by the market. Our immediate task is to make the 12 February strike a great success. Let us all build militant struggles of the working class against this concerted effort of the Modi government. On behalf of the AICCTU, once again, I wish the 18th All India Conference of CITU a grand success. Jai Bhim, Lal Salam, and in the words of Hazrat Mohani, made eternal by Bhagat Singh, Inqilab Zindabad.
Thank you, Comrade Clifton. Comrade, just. Now on behalf of UTUC, Comrade Sikar Appasamy.
Comrades, respectable chairman of the inaugural session of the 18th conference of CITU, and all our leaders of the CITU who are occupied in the dais, and delicate comrades who have come from all over the nation, and all the Central Trade Union leaders who are present and have extended their greetings to the conference, and Honorable General Secretary of WFTU. On behalf of UTUC, United Trade Union Congress, I extend revolutionary greetings to all. In the current political scenario, the functioning of the parliament is based on the religious fundamentalism and reactionary principles. The Modi-led Union BJP government is carrying out arbitrary actions like anti-national, anti-people, anti-workers policies are rampant. Recently, that is following the Odisha state election, the trend of proclaiming the pipe dream of single party rule across the India has intensified. Even knowing that their ambition will not be fulfilled in places like South India and West Bengal, they are roaming around like a whirlwind. Definitely they will learn their lesson in the 2026 assembly election in that areas. The Modi government has embarked on a course of action that will dilute the undermine even the rights of that were hard won during the British imperial era. The set of laws passed by the central government in parliament and opposition members were absent is tantamount to completely paralyzing the workers and trade union. The struggle for trade union registration rights, the rights of strike, collective bargaining rights, and minimum wages have all become questionable. It cannot be said that is an incomprehensible mystery as to why and for whom the Indian Parliament operates. It functions entirely as a parliament for private capitalists and a hostile parliament to us, states not ruled by the BJP. Even as there is a demand to increase the Mahatma Gandhi employment scheme from 100 to 200 days, the government is issuing the notification removing the Mahatma Gandhi's name. Moreover, in orders that the central government reduce the 100% salary, it was providing to 60%, and that the state government should provide the remaining 40%. The passage of the Shanti bill in Parliament, which increases the dominance of the private sector in the nuclear energy field, is an act that could jeopardize India's sovereignty, security, and democracy. While Western countries like Russia and Japan are moving away from the nuclear energy,
If developing India privatizing the nuclear energy, it will be tantamount to bringing about our own destruction. On one hand, the electricity amendment bill forces privatization and distribution companies. There is a risk that the power sector will be destroyed like telephones. In this way, the action being taken by the Union Modi government, such as electoral reforms and seat reforms, which affect the people and the workers from various angles. As trade unions, we have a great responsibility to protect the industry and the workers by preventing such action. On that basis, all the trade union will, as usual, stand united to ensure the implementation of the resolution passed all 5 days conference here, with UTC playing a pivotal role in all of it. We will strengthen our unity of the Central Trade Union on February 12th All India strike. We extend our best wishes for the success of the conference and for the fulfillment of the demands. May workers' unity prevail and may trade union unity continue. Thank you all.
Thank you, Comrade Appaswamy. Just a minute. Comrades, now 7 central trade unions have spoken and greeted the conference. The representative of HMS was not able to attend, and General Secretary of LPF, he was not able to attend, Comrade Shanmugam, but he sent a message. I'll just be reading it out. On behalf of the Labour Progressive Federation, I convey my warmest fraternal greetings and sincere felicitations to the Centre of Indian Trade Unions on the occasion of its national conference being held at Visakhapatnam from 31st December 2025. We deeply regret our inability to be present in person at the open session due to unavoidable circumstances. However, our thoughts and solidarity are very much with the leadership and delegates assembled at this important conference, and we extend our best wishes for its successful and meaningful deliberations. At a time when the trade union movement in our country is facing multiple challenges, erosion of our labor rights, labor codes, increasing informalization of work, privatization, and constraints on collective bargaining, it is imperative that trade unions strengthen unity and collective action to defend the interests of the working people. In this context, the role played by CITU in consistently upholding working class interests and promoting unity among trade unions is highly commendable. LPF firmly believes that unity of the working class and sustained joint actions are the strongest instruments to safeguard hard-earned rights and advance social justice. LPF fondly recalls its long-standing and cardinal relationship with CITU, political commitment. We have proudly stood shoulder to shoulder with CITU in united actions and agitations, and we look forward to continuing this fraternal cooperation in the days ahead. We once again convey our warm greetings and best wishes to the leadership and delegates of CITU and hope that the conference will further strengthen the trade union movement and working class unity at the national level. This is signed by Comrade G. Shanmugam, ex-member of Parliament, General Secretary, Labour Progressive Federation, LPF. So we thank the LPF leadership for the greetings. Just now we'll have a joint photo of all the Central Trade Union leadership.
Solidarity for workers' unity.
सोनिया भाई जरा
मजदूर एकता जिंदाबाद, इंकलाब जिंदाबाद, दुनिया के मजदूर, मजदूर एकता जिंदाबाद, मजदूर किसान एकता जिंदाबाद, मेहनत कशों की एकता जिंदाबाद, 12 फरवरी जन स्ट्राइक जिंदाबाद, हर जोर जुल्म के टक्कर में, हर जोर जुल्म के टक्कर में,
Comrades, before we announce lunch break, Prajashakti Book House has an announcement. They have opened a stall in the premises of this convention hall itself. And on the occasion of the 18th National Conference, they are giving 50% discount on Prajashakti books and 20% discount on other publications. So all the delegates are requested to visit the stall and buy the books. And then, comrades, please sit. Lunch break is not yet announced, and there is an announcement from the reception committee.
साथियों, रिसेप्शन कमेटी का ओर से आप सबका स्वागत है। अभी का लंच के बारे में छोटा सा हम लोग थोड़ा जानकारी देना चाहते हैं आप लोग को। अपना डेलीगेट्स और गेस्ट के लिए 4 फूड कोर्ट्स है, राइट साइड 1, लेफ्ट साइड 2, पीछे 1। राइट साइड फूड कोर्ट में काउंट नंबर 1 में अपना CIT ऑल इंडिया ऑफिस बैरर्स
Announcement from the reception
छोटा सा मिल करके जानकारी देना चाहते हैं, खाना खाएंगे।